Well, I'm just trying to think of, like, a good topic for us to start on.
Just wing it, dude. Just talk. Who cares? This is practice.
Alright. Whenever you're ready.
It's already rolling, brother.
We're already rolling?
It's rolling. But hang on, did you see that new fucking
TV
show, Timeless?
Oh, no, but my kid and I were
That
talking
looks
about
sick,
this.
dude. They go back in time
and it's actually on regular TV. I might actually be able to watch it.
NBC or something.
Has it started yet, or is it?
Yeah, my mom
Monday?
said she saw the first episode. And the second episode
Yeah,
is when they go back.
Shows if you miss a couple.
They go back and try to save Abraham Lincoln or some shit.
I thought the first season was going to be like Hindenburg.
Oh, yeah?
The Hindenburg.
I thought I was telling you about it, because it's totally, like, we've had a conversation. We've had a conversation about this show without even, like, talking about it, just time travel.
Yeah.
And, like, what would happen. And then I randomly saw this commercial. It had the Hindenburg, and I brought it up to Finn, and Finn's like, oh, yeah, that looks cool. It's about time to... What is the premise that one guy is traveling through time?
No, there's like 3 of them. Was 4 of them?
They're chasing the one guy.
Yeah, they're chasing.
But
somebody.
he's screwing with time itself. Like,
yeah, and
like changing events in the past.
Yeah, and they're
like,
trying to see if they should change the course of time to save Lincoln or.
Where's Ridge? This is where Ridge would come in handy.
Dude, he kept. Never mind. No, it's cool.
Yeah, you're right. This is good practice. We'll go back.
Yep.
Does that? Have you gone through there and like looked at like editing? Is there editing buttons on or anything?
There might be. I just hope this doesn't jump right to internet.
I don't care. Well, what was Ridge trying to say the other day about time travel?
I don't know.
Remember we were talking about? You weren't there. We were talking about. All right, let's bring it back to the Future.
All right. Oh, I got a whole chapter of Back to the Future.
Open up the Back to the Future. So we were talking. Me, Ralph, and Ridge were talking about Back to the Future, and Ralph was trying to make the argument about, and he probably already said this to you, that if Doc comes and picks Jennifer and Marty up.
I brought it up.
Oh, you brought it up.
I don't know what they brought it up.
That was Nate's idea, and Ridge took it.
Just to clarify, this is Nate's idea.
This is Nate's idea.
So then, what Ridge was saying, what was his answer? Because his answer kind of blew me. Did you understand
Yeah,
it?
if you go back in time in 85, you'll disappear to the time you end up at, right?
That was my theory. And he
is that
said,
what he was talking about?
Well, see, that was my theory. That's why I asked him. I was like, if you disappear in 1985, if you leave from 1985 and go to like 2015, wouldn't you have... to the rest of the world, wouldn't you have disappeared from 85 to 2015? And he was saying something like, well, something to the effect like you would still see yourselves in the future because...
Alternate reality.
Because it would be, you would find your way back. Like you would come back to the time that you left.
That's what he said.
You would find your way back.
Well, okay, so
it would be inherent. Like the timeline would assume that you were going to go back to 1985. That's why you would see your future self, unless you died in 2015.
That's what I was trying to figure out. What would happen if you died in 2015? What happens to the older?
That whole from 85 to then, that completely changes.
This brings up the whole vanishing picture.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, what happens? Okay, they go back to 15.
That part always dumbfounded me.
Doc freaks out. Kills Marty and Jennifer. He goes.
Okay, let's admit it. He's a little bit on the edge. Doc could snap it.
He's on the edge. He's been everywhere.
Don't touch that, Marty!
Just leave her. Leave her here. He was so quick to leave her ass anywhere, dude. 2015, left her behind a fucking building.
Who?
Doc, remember? When she
left her in a garbage can and she just picked up by the police.
Who did he leave?
It's Jennifer.
Did he?
Yeah. Jennifer gets knocked
Doc
out.
wanted to have a love affair with Marty.
He just left her ass, dude. He's like, just leave her here.
Marty, we'll be back for her.
And then he left her on the doorstep of her house. That wasn't even her house.
Yeah, Marty's like, that's not even her house.
Never mind that, Marty. Throw away the G-ring drug.
Yeah, maybe Doc had some gay sex scenario in his head. I have a time machine. I can't get this kid alone. Everywhere I go, she's there.
Got a pocket full of rupees. Drink this, Marty. You
Welcome to the Matrix, Marty.
Blue pill or red pill?
I like that Family Guy skit. Where it's like, we gotta do something about your kids. What? Your daughter dates a black man. I don't have a problem with that. What? Really? What?
Jack's a racist.
He's a racist murderer.
It's like, did you know that peanut butter was invented by a black man? I don't think we should hang out with you anymore, Doc.
Sorry, Doc, you're on your own. But still, okay, if Doc kills Marty and Jennifer in 2015, then what happens to the old Doc and Marty if Doc kills Marty and Jennifer in 2015, what happens to the old Marty and Jennifer? They're already there.
They're dead.
This is all sliding back into the Mandela effect.
You know?
Which I gotta tell you guys, I told the ice cream man about the Mandela effect.
He got an ice
You
cream?
remember you know what I'm talking about? The crazy
Jerry curl guy?
Yeah.
He's the only white guy that's got a Jerry curl.
So I'm checking him in. I might have been telling him about the podcast too. I don't know.
You're telling everybody, dude.
We're creating a fan base.
Okay, yeah, our fan base.
Anyways, I brought up the Mandela effect, and he goes,
what the fuck?
He's like, "What are you talking about?" And I go, "You don't know about the Mandela effect?" And I'm like, "All right, man. So let me give you like a brief rundown of what the." I'm like, "You like Star Wars?" He goes, "Yeah, I like Star Wars." So first one that comes to mind, I go, "So does C-3PO have a silver leg?" And he goes, "Well, in one of them he does." And I'm like, no, not the prequels, the original trilogy. So I start explaining this to him, and he's like, "You're on drugs, man." I go,
like, you're out.
I go, go back and watch the. I'm like, "You got it at home?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Go back and watch it, dude. It's not there. There's a silver leg now." And he's like, "No, I think you're on drugs." And I'm like, "It's not my theory, man."
You're still on crack, dude. You're good.
But I told him that, and then the one that really blew his mind was somebody was standing there listening to me, was the "Luke, I'm your father." And he's like...
Yeah, I walked away as you were saying that, because you kept following this guy, and you're telling him, and he's walking out the door, and you're talking to him, you're like, "Yeah, what does he say?" He say, "Luke, I'm your father." He just kept walking out the door, and you're following him. I'm just like, I'm out.
He's a strange dude anyway.
Yeah, who was that guy?
That's the good humor guy.
Oh, yeah.
Good humor man with no sense of humor. I find
No
that
sense
very
of
ironic.
humor. No sense of humor. Ah, shit. But, I don't know, man.
So I was explaining this to you before about time travel.
Mm-hmm.
Before Lisa so rudely interrupted us. This
interrupted.
is one of the times that she snuck up on us. We were talking about the movie Looper. One of my favorite time travel movies. Ralph still hasn't gone back and seen it.
I'll use a time machine and I'll go back.
but we were talking about at what point did she walk in? I was explaining to you.
His
Have
friend.
you ever seen it?
No.
Alright, so his friend. Alright, so the basic premise. How far into it are we?
8.
So the basic premise is time travel, and in the not so distant future, there's these people that the mob hires. Alright, without getting you too confused. In the not so distant future, time travel is invented. Okay? But it's immediately outlawed because people start using it they're fucking up the time-space continuum, as Doc would say. Right. So they start using it for the wrong reasons. They make it illegal all over the world. And except for, of course, the mob's like, "Fuck you, we don't adhere to laws." So the mob has a time machine, or several time machines, and they keep using it. And what it is basically the loopers are the people that the mob hires to kill people in the future. So they have a time machine in the future. The mob wants you dead, and instead of alright, what's the guy that they still can't find his body?
Hoffa?
Yeah.
Jimmy
Alright, so
Hoffa.
he's a good example. They've been looking for Hoffa's body, blah, blah, blah. If they find his body, it proves something. So this is the mob has figured out in the future how to get rid of bodies with no evidence. Send them back to the future. Send them back, and you have these loopers that you employ to kill them, right? And when you agree to do this as a looper, you agree blah, 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 X amount of things that you're agreeing to. You're getting paid for it, but every looper knows that they eventually close the loop. Because eventually, they're going to catch you, put you in the time machine, and send you back. Now, everybody appears, with a bag on their head.
Right.
And your payment on their back of like gold bars. They pay them like gold bars. And so you're supposed to shoot, don't ask questions. So what happens, and by closing, you know what I mean by closing the loop, is that if they send you back and you kill yourself, then eventually you have eliminated yourself from talking or telling anyone like, oh yeah.
That's a shit job.
Right, so without getting too confused, because there's this weird, this is the part I was trying to talk to you about before Lisa interrupted us. Before work got in the way.
I hate work.
That when he gets... Alright, so his best friend...
Yeah, I got to that point.
Alright, I want to clue Nate in too, because this is a good topic, I think. And then you guys can go back eventually and watch the movie, and then we could even talk about it even more. But his best friend, they're both loopers, okay? And his best friend comes to him like in the middle of the night. He's like pounding on the door. He opens the door and he's like, I didn't do it, man. You gotta hide me. And he's like, what didn't you do? And he's like, it was me, man. It was me. So I guess they got a bag over their head, but the guy appears, and they just appear like out of thin air. And he's like whistling this song that this guy, his best friend, always whistles. So he's like, he was whistling that song that I whistle, and he's like, I knew it was me. And so he walks over to him, and he takes the bag off his head, and it's like him. You can tell it's him in the future.
Right.
And so the guy starts talking to him, and they play this out like where they're kind of like just showing you in fast forward. But the guy starts talking to him about the future, right? And tells him, it's like, give me a cigarette. So he's talking to him, and he tells him, don't shoot me. I got information about the future. So he says, all you gotta do is let me go, man, or untie me, man, and I'll tell you everything. So he unties himself, and the guy bolts, right? Of course. So he's explaining this to that guy, the guy that played Robin,
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Thank you. We do need to try and get better about name dropping, because I'm really bad about that. We're doing a podcast. We should try to stick to, what was the title of that? What's that guy's name?
The guy that played Robin.
Like, guy that played Robin, yeah. So he's telling him, he's like, you gotta hide me, man. You know they're coming for me. And this dude, every time he kills somebody, he's been saving all his money. And the main character, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and he plans on. He's told a couple people, I'm going to go to France when I retire. I'm going to go to France and spend all my money, live the rest of my life there. And so he's got this opening under his floor,
right,
where he keeps all his gold. And he tells his buddies, get in there. He's like, don't say a word, just get in there. So he shuts the door on him.
Get in the hole.
Right, locks him in there, and then pretty soon, we know you're in there, we know you're hiding him. It's the mob that he works for. Mm. So he plays it off like he's sleeping or whatever. He comes to the door, and he's like, yeah, and he goes, we know you're hiding him. He's like, just tell us where he is. So he doesn't give his buddy up, but they take him back to the main mob boss. And the main mob boss is like, look. And actually, it's Jeff Daniels. Yeah.
Dumb and Dumber.
From Dumb and Dumber, which seems like a really strange, but he nails it. Because he's actually from the future, and they sent him back to be the mob boss in charge of things in present day. And so he wears this really interesting robe. And he's always like in the
pool. Your cardigan. Well, thanks for noticing.
In the future, they don't wear ties, and he's always making fun of Joseph Gordon-Levitt for wearing ties. But take that damn choker off, anyways. You'll see in the future, nobody wears that shit. But he nails it. Jeff Daniels does. So he's sitting there and he's telling him, I'm not gonna cut your fingers off or break your knuckles like you think I am. I don't want to kill you. He's like, I gave you your start. He's like, but you gotta tell me. We know you know where he is. Where is he? And he's like, are you gonna kill him? And he's like, no. And he's like, here's the deal. He's like, you either tell me where he is. He said, I like you. Here's the deal. You either tell me where he is, and you get to keep all your money, all your gold. If you don't tell us where he is, then I'm going to ask you for half your gold. The guy's sitting there so he tells him he's at my house, and he gives the guy up. So this is where I was telling Ralph when we got interrupted, is that, so there's this really fucking awesome scene where the guy, fast forward a few minutes into the future, And the guy that's running, the future best friend, right?
Right.
He's like, you see these train tracks and this train, and he's like running, and he's looking behind him, he's all scared and shit, and he's like, feels something on his arm, and he like looks at his arm, and there's like scratches on his arm, and he like pulls his sleeve up to see what the scratch is, and they're writing a message, and it's an address telling him where to go. And it says, like, you have 20 minutes or something like that. And he's like, oh, God. So he gets in his car. It's like one of the fucking creepiest ways to die I've ever seen in a movie. So he's, like, driving this car. And as he's driving, like, his fucking hand just disappears. Like, it's gone. And he looks down, and he's like, ah! And then his face, like his nose, is just gone. They cut his nose off. Yeah. And then by the time he gets to this address, they cut his tongue out. By the time he gets to this address, you see him park the car, and they're like filming from the outside of the car, and the door opens, and he just falls out of the car, and he's basically just a body with like one arm, and he's like, ah! He can't even talk because of his tongue. It's freaky, man.
Wow.
And he's like pulling himself to this door, and he gets to the door, and he starts banging on it with his one limb. And the fucking door just opens, and like, pow, 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 and they kill him. And that's how the mob gets rid of you in the future. But that starts, this is the part I didn't understand, and this is kind of like the Doc and Jennifer and Marty thing. So what happens is, right after that, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, his character, which is Bruce Willis from the future, he appears, but he don't have a bag on, so he's like waiting for he's got this stopwatch that he always uses, this tick tick tick, he's waiting for it, he's like looking at his stopwatch like something's gone wrong, it's late, and all of a sudden he sees Bruce Willis appear. Now this is where it gets weird. He doesn't have a mask on, and he sees him, kind of looks at him weird, and then Bruce Willis, like, turns around real quick. And he basically, like, appears on his knees. He turns around real quick, and they have these guns called Thunderbusters or something. They're basically, like, turkey guns. They're
Oh, okay. Like a version of, like, the Blunderbuss or something.
That's what it is. Thank you. A Blunderbuster. Okay. Very good. Nate's on top of the shit.
It's like a wrestling move.
Yeah, I never even heard of it before. I thought it was a weapon they made up for the movie, but apparently it's a
it's based on a weapon from like the 16, 17, 1800s, something like that.
Turkey, they used to hunt turkeys with it or something?
I think it was more of like, it was like used in like pirating or something, where they were just like...
It's basically got like a horn bunch of stuff in it on the end of it.
Yeah, it's like a barrel and just kind of...
So it looks like a shotgun with like a horn on the end of it. And I think I think it just like sprays bullets, because they talk about how inaccurate it is.
Yeah.
So anyways, Bruce Willis turns around real quick as he pulls the trigger, and when he shoots Bruce Willis, he shoots him in the back where the gold is, so he doesn't get killed. And Bruce Willis kind of falls over, and then you can only get one shot out of these things. So he like starts reloading the gun, and Bruce Willis gets up, runs over to him, and fucking blam, knocks him out, and the guy just knocks out. He gets knocked out. So then this is where the movie gets weird. So he wakes up, and Bruce Willis is gone, and he's like, what the hell? And then the movie starts replaying. It goes into like him waiting for the stopwatch is ticking again, and he's like waiting, and you're like watching it going, wait a minute, I just watched this. And when he goes to shoot him, I want to make sure I got this right, this accurate. When he goes to shoot him the second time, I'm trying to remember how. Somehow it shows you the next 10 years.
So if he would have killed Joseph Gordon-Levitt then, or whatever the hell his name is, what would have happened to Bruce Willis?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what we were trying to figure out.
If he would have killed him right then and
there. If he would have killed him right then and there,
he would kill himself.
He'd kill himself. But then again,
he would just kind of phase out of existence.
So
he would just kind of disappear or whatever.
So that's what would happen to the old Marty and Jennifer then, if Doc went on a rampage and killed them. Teenagers.
if he killed them in 2015 and killed them then the Marty and Jennifer in the future would just fade out of existence, and everything from 85 to then would change.
It wouldn't happen immediately. I mean, like Marty and Jennifer just disappear.
I would figure, because the timeline would have to fix itself, because...
Or would that be just another timeline?
Or would it... That's what I think Ridge was trying to say with Splinter. I think that's what Ridge was trying to say, that there would become two timelines.
Yeah.
One where Marty and Jennifer live.
Yeah, the multi-world theory or something like that.
Well, it's like...
Because the theory is that every decision that you make creates a timeline. So there's a timeline where you don't date Celeste, which would be this one, and then there's another one where you are dating her, which would then create another timeline.
There's one where she doesn't like black guys.
We'll edit this out.
Whoops. Well, it was bound to happen.
It slips, bro. It's all good. I won't edit it. I won't publish it, dude. I don't think.
I mean, I love all African Americans. Let me just stipulate that.
This podcast is brought to you by the NAACP.
White power. Anyways,
but yeah, the theory is that every choice you make creates another timeline. So there's a world where the Nazis won World War II.
Hell yeah! No, okay. What if you go back in time and you try to kill Abraham Lincoln, you save Lincoln, but he ends up having a heart attack anyways and dying right there, and there's something that's just meant to be. Right?
Yeah, there's that theory where the timeline would fix itself. Where Lincoln turns around just as John Wilkes Booth comes into the room, sees him pull out the gun, maybe knocks the gun out of his hand or whatever, and scuffles or something, and maybe he throws John Wilkes Booth over.
Or he turns his head at the right time and gets Martha Lincoln. And he goes on a crazy rage, and he sets up a bunch of camps because they killed his wife.
And that's how Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Killer, started. Did anybody ever see that movie?
I saw that.
I saw the zombie.
Good?
I liked it.
I saw the zombie one.
There was a zombie.
There was a zombie killer, yeah. It was like the same time with the vampires, like Abraham Lincoln, zombie hunter.
It was like straight to DVD.
Yeah, it was straight to DVD.
That doesn't mean it's not a movie.
It was in a $4.99 bin at Walmart.
No, but because I know that the Vampire Hunter was in the theaters, but I think I've seen that movie. It was like one of those straight to DVD.
Yeah, that one was kind of
some bullshit stuff that TA gets. Some of these movies I'd never even fucking heard of.
It's like
one night I was the cashier, and it was like 11 o'clock at night, and this guy comes in. And he's real nerdy looking. He's got this super hot girl with him. And I'm like, what the fuck, right? And he comes up to me and he says, hey, have you seen this movie? And he's got one of those cheap $4.99. And I'm like, no. Luckily he started talking to me before I started saying stupid shit. Because I was like, no, man. And he goes, oh, that's too bad. You should give it a chance. And I'm like, you like that movie? And he goes, I made that movie. And I was like, what? And he goes, yeah, and they said something like, oh, you're going to think we go from, truck stop to truck stop being mini-sled, which it probably does.
Probably does.
Well, that's why I say that.
Yeah.
But he goes, yeah, I'm so-and-so, the director, and he, just points on the back. He's like, and does she look familiar? And I don't know what, it was like a horror, I think it was a horror movie.
Probably, that seems to be, the go-to for, independent.
Oh, dude, she was hot. And when I looked at her, and oh my god, she was the main actress. And I was like, wow. I'm like, so you guys are celebrities. And they're like, wow.
Well, not really.
Now we are.
Well, we're B-listers.
Right.
C-listers, maybe.
He made the movie. They're both from Ohio. He made the movie somewhere in Ohio, Columbus, Ohio or something, on a budget of $4,000. And I'm like, and it's here in TA? Like, how did that? And like, he tried to explain it to me, but that's where he lost me.
Like, yeah, okay, dude. I'm okay, dude.
All I care about is there's a hot chick you're with, and that's only because you're a movie maker.
Now, you're in this movie, right? So how much do we see?
Right. Then there was another time I met this kid, when I was a cashier, I forget how I got on the subject. It was before Batman vs. Superman came out. And he goes, somehow...
So it's pre-2016.
Yeah. Yeah, in this timeline.
In this timeline.
So, somehow movies came up.
Yeah.
Or the fact that he was an actor. His mom was with him. I was talking to him first, and then his mom just kind of showed up behind him. And then she's like, yeah, he actually has been an actor for several years now. And I'm like, oh yeah? I'm like, anything I might know? And she goes, well, you know the Batman movie coming. And I'm like, Batman vs. Superman? And she goes, yeah, he's got a small part in that. And I'm like, shut up.
So he's like extras or something?
So you know the scene, yeah. You know the scene where it's like the Mexican holiday where they paint their faces. And Superman's like, there's that small little scene where Superman's like coming down and there's all these Mexican people dressed up.
Oh, yeah.
It's like their version of Halloween.
Like Cinco de Mayo?
Day of the Dead.
Day of the Dead, okay.
And that scene where Superman's like slowly like floating down and they're all trying to touch him, you know, very godlike.
Wasn't that
The kid is right behind him. She goes, you know this, they're playing the trailers and everything. She goes, you know the trailer, you seen the trailer? I'm like, yeah. And so he was talking to me like it was a B movie or something.
Right.
I'm like, yeah. And she goes, well, the scene where Superman kind of like floats down and there's all these people in makeup trying to touch him. And I'm like, yeah. And she goes, well, if you look right over Superman's left or right shoulder, he's there in makeup and trying to, like, has his hand on Superman. I'm like, what? And his brother, and then the kid's like, my brother too.
So was he Mexican?
No.
That's why he wore makeup.
Ralph is pissed.
I'm pissed that they use real Mexicans.
How dare they?
Use real
This is what's wrong with Hollywood.
They don't want to use real Mexicans in movies nowadays.
Ralph's like, my kid is 1/32. They could have put Ethan in that movie.
They could have put Ethan in that movie, man. No, but...
Yeah, so I was like, I got his autograph, and then I lost it. I did. I got it. I'm like, here, man, sign this, like, receipt or something. And I lost it before I got out of the store that night. She's like, his mom's like, yeah, keep that, because you never know. He's going to be somebody someday.
Well, he'll probably be up like the next, like, fucking Brad Pitt or Tom Cruise, and he'd be like,
I worked at this truck stop. I meant that again. I really did.
You'd be like that one guy's like, I've seen aliens. Like, yeah, sure, dude. I'm sure you've seen them. I'm sure. I've seen aliens. No, man. For real.
No, I was trying to explain this scene from Looper so that... Because it's really a puzzling scene. It shows... Because they're trying to talk about how, like, most Loopers retire.
But they get killed, don't they?
Well, eventually you know that your time is going to... It's going to be your time one day. So you try to take as much money as you can, retire when the mob lets you get out of doing it, and like live the good life for X amount of years. Because he's talking to somebody and he's like, that's what I want to do. I'm saving all my money to go to France. I'm going to live 10 good years.
But doesn't the Looper eventually get shot or get sent back in time?
So what happens is when Bruce Willis appears, then they kind of like show you the story from his perspective.
Right.
So he gets away that day. He doesn't get killed. And then it shows you, it actually goes backwards for a moment. It shows you like how he got sent in the time machine without a mask on.
Oh, nice.
And so it goes, you jump ahead into Bruce Willis's life, but then you go backwards 10 years in Bruce Willis's timeline. So, and it shows like there's like a thing on the screen. And this is all important because this is the guy that wrote Star Wars 8 and 9 and the guy that's directing it. So they're talking about maybe time travel being in the next couple Star Wars movies.
That would be
Which
sweet.
would make sense.
Well, they would be able to, you would think. I mean...
It's almost like, why haven't we done that yet?
Exactly. They got fucking, light speed and shit? I mean...
Right. What happens when you go in hyperspace?
Right. You can do that.
we know from what Einstein says that time and space are interconnected. So when you're going through hyperspace, you're going through time too. But they don't ever play it like that.
No.
They don't ever show you like, here's Alderaan, we just went into hyperspace, now we're on Tatooine, and Anakin's only 4 years old now. But like that's the way it should.
Well, what happens if they would have killed Anakin? Like if they did do that,
If they went back and they killed little Anakin on
just
Tatooine,
walk up to like Anakin.
well, then Vader's never born.
And go, oh, Annie, no.
That's a good question, though. That's a good question.
Yeah, Vader is obviously there's no Vader. Palpatine maybe does not rise to power because of
There's no Luke or Leia.
because of no Anakin. Mace Windu probably kills Palpatine.
Yeah.
You know that part where he's about to stab him and Anakin cuts his arm off.
See, I see it differently. I think Palpatine still grabs power. I think that was
Palpatine has.
Well, I think he still grabs power.
That was his destiny.
He'll find.
I think he still grabs power, but if everything was to play out,
Does he kill his master? Does it change that much?
It'll be Mace Windu. Like, so no. And he's like, fuck no.
Listen. If we go into Mace Windu is Snoke and,
Oh,
and
dude, I don't even want to
podcast,
No. What the fuck did you do to me?
No, but does he kill? Would that change? Like, he already killed Plagueis.
because when Anakin arrives,
By the time Anakin is a little boy, he's already killed his master, right?
supposedly. Unless you, there's some of the rumors where Snoke is Plagueis.
Right. We don't really know yet.
We don't know yet.
Right.
But in
Plagueis.
theory, he's dead.
Yeah.
He's dead by that time.
How would the universe change? That's podcast worthy. Right?
He would.
But not only that, if they kill Anakin, then Luke and Leia are never born.
Right. And so Shmi
And
probably
there'll be no C-3PO.
Shmi probably stays a slave.
Yep.
So
Right.
she doesn't get killed.
Yeah, C-3PO probably does not get finished completely.
Well, but if we go by the idea that the Force willed the Chosen One into existence, then the Chosen One would have been someone else, right?
Or if Plagueis is still secretly alive, maybe he senses the disturbance. Oh crap!
Do you guys personally think that that Plagueis created Anakin?
Have to be a higher version, like a.
It's.
Do you think
the only explanation?
Well,
right
Plagueis.
now,
If Plagueis made Anakin, then that means that within that 10 years is when the Emperor killed Plagueis. Would have had to been that time frame, right? Supposedly, if the Emperor killed Plagueis, and Plagueis created Anakin, so that would have been like in that time frame.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
because by the time Anakin in Episode 1, he's like what?
10.
10?
10.
Yeah.
He's 10. Episode
So
2,
probably
he's
within-
18.
Probably within 10 years beforehand.
Probably within that 10 years, probably, yeah.
And then by episode 3, he's like 20. When did he change to Darth Vader? 23? 20 something, right?
Something like that, yeah.
We could probably easily look that
I
right
could
now.
look that up right now.
But I guess a lot of this depends on your personal belief of, did Plagueis, to me, Plagueis.
It's Plagueis. Fuck Plagueis.
I know.
Plagueis is some nasty STD that
Ridge
you get.
has got me calling him Plagius.
Plagueis. His name is Plagueis. No, Plagueis is an STD.
That you do not
That
want.
you do not
From
want.
another regions of space.
Dude. Look at Greedo.
Comes
He was
out-
normal, dude.
Comes out a worm.
Greedo was normal.
Space AIDS.
Space AIDS.
Way worse than
Space
regular
AIDS.
It's like, oh, dude, I'm Plagueis positive.
I got the space AIDS.
I got the space age. Not space age. AIDS, it's Plagueis positive.
So the question I'm asking is, do you personally believe that Plagueis created Anakin, or did the Force itself just create Anakin? Because I was telling you about the Mortis trilogy.
It's too much like the Bible story, man.
So,
with fucking
Right.
We should all really go back and watch those.
What
Have
is
you heard
it?
of this? It's called the Mortis trilogy. It was you probably should talk to Ethan. Ethan's probably your reference point for Clone Wars. Wasn't he big into Clone Wars?
Yeah, he likes Clone Wars. Clone Wars, him and
Joe.
Him and Joe love Clone Wars.
Joe is the one that told me about this. The Mortis trilogy. So, like, during the last season of the Clone Wars, they did this one episode where it was, or 3 episodes, I should say, where it was called the Mortis trilogy, and it was kind of pretty much saying that Anakin was the chosen one, where they go to this planet, and there's only 3 people on this planet, and it's a father, a daughter, and a son. And the father is like the king of the planet, and he's like one of the most spiritual force beings you'll ever meet. But both of the children are too. But the son is complete dark side, and the daughter is light side. And I don't remember the entire 3 arcs, but basically, spoilers, that the father, the son kills the daughter, so the dark side kills the light side, and because the father is like heartbroken by it, the father kills himself, but he tells Anakin, or maybe he tells Obi-Wan, that if whoever is the chosen one will take my place and bring balance to the Force. And this might be the first time this might be revealing the prophecy. Because
that's something for Joe, dude. Joe loves that
we don't ever really know where the prophecy came from.
Well, right here it says, at the age of 10, Boba Fett was an orphan. When did when did Jango Fett die? Episode 2? Mm-hmm. So you just gotta figure out how old Anakin was.
Anakin was 18 in episode 2.
Okay, so he was 18 in episode 2, so he's 10 years.
Isn't there a page on like Darth Vader, all about Darth Vader?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I just like to do the more high tech and more mathematical route, but yeah, I could look it up.
I guess. Just that way.
I can look it up. Java Novada, I can look it up.
But okay, so if Anakin was killed as a boy on Tatooine, what changes in the Star Wars universe?
Everything, unless a little kid eyewitnesses Qui-Gon Jinn slices Anakin's head off and be like, oh, hell no! And then he starts becoming the Sith Lord at a younger age. Because he sees a Jedi killing a young kid for no reason. And then he's like, oh, hell no. Fuck the Jedis. Fuck the Jedis, man.
I saw this thing on the internet. It's on topic, but a little bit off topic. On the internet about... It said that Obi-Wan Kenobi was made Jedi Master without having to go through the trials, because apparently you have to go through the trials in order to become a Jedi Master.
Right.
But Obi-Wan Kenobi was made a Jedi Master without having to go through the trials because he was the first Jedi to kill a Sith in over 1,000 years.
And he killed Darth Maul.
And then somebody on the internet was like, hold up! He didn't kill Maul.
No.
So that's bullshit.
So technically...
So why did they make him...
Maybe they thought he was dead.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Maybe they just thought he was dead, because we all thought he was dead until the Clone Wars showed up.
Right.
It says Yoda was in exile for 22 years when Luke first showed up. So 22 years, however old Anakin was when he turned into Darth Vader.
Okay, well we
Plus
know...
22 years.
We know Luke is 18 in episode 4.
Episode 4.
And so apparently that
Episode
means
4. Episode 3.
4.
2.
4.
Episode 4?
New Hope?
Yeah.
He's 18.
Who?
Luke.
Okay.
Who's on first?
Okay. You're right. No, he was 19. He was 19 because
So
Yoda didn't want to train him because he was too old. He was 19.
Does that?
Somewhere. I told you that. Like,
Says in the movie?
no, in the book here somewhere. Hang on. I don't know. It's in here though. I remember seeing that. Okay, just say 18. Just say 18. I didn't know if it's...
Alright, so, but it said he was 22?
He was 22 for 22 years old. 22 years he was on Dagobah.
So that means in Empire, Luke is 22.
That's right.
Right?
He was 22. He'd have to be because he went in hiding the day they were born.
So 4 years passed between episode 4 and 5? 3 years?
Had to have.
If he's 19, 20, 22. 3 years.
Yeah. So.
Which is exactly how long it was in real life. 77 to 1980.
Makes sense.
Way to be out there, Lucas.
Good job, Lucas. You could just fucking put this in the book.
This is 3 years in the future.
3 years. Oh, yeah.
We're gonna jump 3 years.
Everybody likes Jar Jar. Fuck Jar Jar Binks.
Is there a Jar Jar page in there?
Fuck no, I ripped it out. If Jar Jar Binks wasn't alive, none of this shit would have happened. Hate Jar Jar Binks.
So I guess the question I got in my head is, would the Force have created another chosen one?
It would have had to have. Right?
If you go with the belief that the Force is a living...
That the Force created Anakin and not Plagueis.
Because at this point, Plagueis
is
being.
dead.
The Force itself is a living being.
Unless Plagueis hasn't died yet. Plagueis is the Emperor.
No.
I don't know.
I also saw one that said, another one of those things where it said Snoke might be Sifo Dyas.
I saw that too. Sifo Dyas is an interesting character because they never actually show him.
No.
Plays a huge role in the Star Wars universe, but...
Joe talks about him all the time, and he brought that up. Yeah, same thing. He brought that up.
It is an interesting... Like, not even a cameo. Not even like... Lucas must have really hated flashbacks.
Must have, dude, because there's no flashbacks.
Even I was watching episode 3 today, and I saw the premonitions scene.
My favorite part when Mace Windu gets thrown out.
Yeah, and it's so like...
Where you think you see Plagueis, and he's like, and it looks like he's reaching out toward Anakin.
Yeah.
Was it episode 3?
Yeah.
When they were at the thing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that before?
No, one of you two told me about it.
Oh, listen.
I think it was Nate that told it to me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It is... At first I was like, bullshit. And the first time I watched it, I didn't really even see it. The second time I watched it, I'm like, oh... It does kind of look like it's...
Pointing at him?
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Something with that. Lost it.
So, yeah, Luke is old as hell when he starts becoming a Jedi then.
Luke
Probably
doesn't
good.
Go through the trials
No,
either, right?
he doesn't do nothing. He lifts a fucking X-Wing out of the swamp when he's a Jedi all of a sudden.
He's like, he goes to old Ben, hey, this is your father, here, take it.
Take it. I don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know, he didn't do no training.
No, and then he's told, go to Dagobah. Some old hermit will teach you how to use the Force.
He had that shield on his face for like 5 minutes, getting zapped. Then he goes to Dagobah, lifts an X-Wing out of the swamp.
Yeah, you're ready.
No,
does
he
a
couldn't even do
handstand.
it. He couldn't do it. Remember?
No, he couldn't.
Oh, he couldn't do it.
Yeah, Yoda's like, you fucking pussy. Yeah, go over there.
With my eyes closed, I will.
Then he does a handstand and he becomes a Jedi.
Yeah, so I saw a video that is linked to this idea.
That's why I don't like Luke. Sorry, but I don't like Luke.
What?
Look at all the... half the fuckers got killed. There's like 3 different movies when these kids got killed trying to be Jedis. They can never go for it, dude.
Would you like to see Luke go to the dark side in the next 2 movies?
That would be sick. If Luke goes to the dark side, he's like... Because you saw his face when he saw Rey, he's like...
I'm very torn about this idea, because I think it would be badass.
I like to see Luke versus Kylo
Because he's
Ren.
always tinkered with the dark side.
I think that there's...
You have to know
There's
both
a
sides
certain
of the
amount of
Force.
darkness in him, as there's a certain amount of darkness in everybody.
I think maybe even more
But
so
I think
because
I think he has more control. He has more control over it than his father did.
And
Which
more
he
than
just completely succumbed to the darkness and all this stuff, where he was tempted by his father multiple times. Yeah, I'm gonna kill your sister and all this stuff. And And he would lash out and rage, and then he realized what he was doing, and he was like, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do what you...
I'm a Jedi like my father before.
Yeah,
right.
That's stupid.
Shut up, dude. That is the best line in Star Wars. That is the greatest
The dark side is so much more fun. You get what you want.
This is Vader trying to make the argument. Listen, son.
Listen.
If you want to have fun...
You want to have fun at a party.
The dark side
Wear your
is
tuxedo
way cooler.
t-shirt. Wear your tuxedo
Look at
t-shirt.
me. Look at me. You think I could wear something like this if I was a Jedi?
I'm telling you,
Dude.
I couldn't do Jedi. There's too many fucking rules. It's like being at Bible camp.
I guess that's what I like about it, the religious side of it.
Yeah, you can't do this. You can't do that. You can't say that. Go to the dark side, bro. You can just choke somebody for looking at you wrong.
No, but seriously, that appeals to me because I know that there's a connection between the religious,
Yeah.
And the idea that you have to sacrifice. If you're without getting too theological, if you're a Christian, you have to make sacrifices. Like you can't go do this, you can't go do that. That's the same way a Jedi lives. But what's interesting about this is that was ultimately the Jedi's downfall, was the religion. And if you take a look at Christianity, modern Christianity, ultimately that's its downfall.
Well, see, Mace Windu was the only one that was going to kill the Emperor, and then all of a sudden Anakin's like, no, he's got to be tried and all this shit. But Mace Windu was about to bust a cap in his ass and kill him. But then Anakin's just like, no, he's got to be tried and all this. It's not the Jedi way. And Mace Windu's like, fuck the Jedi way. This is what we're doing. I want to kill him. And then
you know, it's a really dark moment. I was watching today when he kills Dooku. When he kills Dooku and he tells him, he's like thinking outside.
Yeah.
And he's like, I know I shouldn't. But
it feels so good to do
it.
it.
Right, and at that point where Palpatine's like, do it. Like, wouldn't you like turn and go, motherfucker?
Right.
Like,
I'm thinking about it. Calm down.
Like he's like, now. He does. He says, now. Do it now.
I can't do it.
That's, I believe, the first time we hear the Emperor.
The Emperor
voice.
He's like, yeah, that's good. Kill it.
Do it now.
Do it now.
What? Wouldn't you at that point go, what the fuck's wrong with your voice, dude?
What happened?
I meant yes.
Sorry. I couldn't do it.
Sorry.
I don't know. I just think that the dark side is more fun.
You know what I mean, right?
But, if you have no kids or a wife or anything.
Steve's like, I'm dark side all the way. Way more fun. I'm all about the fun.
I'm all about the...
You know what I mean? I'm all about the dark side. Get all the diapers I want.
Yeah, right? I just think the dark side would be more fun. Space
Soon, all the diapers are going to be mine. Where were we going with this? We were on track for a moment.
We were talking about Anakin getting killed as a little kid. Right?
Right.
But if Anakin gets killed as a little kid... Then Qui-Gon Jinn could have been the bad guy.
Well, I
because him and Count Dooku will put a beating on the Jedi.
Oh, that's what we were talking about, Sifo Dyas.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sifo Dyas is Dooku's master?
Yes, Sifo Dyas was Dooku's master.
So that means Yoda trained Sifo Dyas? Who trained Sifo Dyas?
I will have to look that up. No, I don't know.
Where are we at?
50.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
I don't know, dude. I think that if Anakin got killed, there would have been somebody to replace him. Whether it was Qui-Gon Jinn.
I kind of think that too.
It doesn't matter. I mean, the only downfall about him being replaced is that he wasn't,
Well, there's that one theory. I remember I was telling you about it like last summer, or last spring or something. The theory that Rey is a chosen one.
I think that's how it happened.
And that there are multiple chosen ones.
I think they were looking at Anakin's future, like he's a chosen one, but it's his bloodline.
His blood, almost like the Grail.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like his bloodline is the chosen one.
I never really thought about that.
Like, it's not Luke, obviously, because Luke pushed out. And I think it's going to be Rey. It might not even be Rey. It might not. I hate fucking Luke. It might even be Kylo Ren.
Wow, see, if I had my way, if I could write the script, Kylo Ren's going to become the hero.
Yeah, Kylo Ren's a badass.
That's what I want. I want to see Kylo Ren redeem the entire Skywalker family.
Well, he's going to have to figure something out and try to bring his dad back, because that's kind of
awkward. What everybody
That'll be awkward on Thanksgiving with his mom and shit. Hey, Mom!
That just goes to show you how loved Han Solo was.
Oh, dude, Han Solo was the shit,
Seriously, because Anakin can kill the entire Jedi Order.
Don't matter. They were doomed to die anyways. They were Jedis.
I saw there was a meme I saw last night that said it had a picture of like little Anakin, and the part where they're having dinner, and he says, "No one can kill a Jedi."
Oh shit!
Remember he said? And then on the bottom it says, "Goes on to kill every Jedi in existence."
It's true, he does. So
yeah. It's like, nobody can kill a Jedi. I want to be a Jedi. Nobody can kill a Jedi.
I think they should have used something more...
Light bulb goes off in his...
They should have used something more powerful for Annie to get crazy. For Anakin to get crazy. To become Darth Vader. Other than...
I agree.
You know, I mean, his wife, but his wife didn't die. Or she didn't die. Padme didn't die, technically.
Well,
she died, but, like, you know...
I agree. When they first were talking about this years ago, I thought, well, wouldn't that be awesome to see, like, what made him fall?
I think a Jedi should have killed...
Pussy. It was over pussy!
I think a Jedi should have killed Padme. That would have made it even more. Yeah.
Look, it's like, what would make a man turn to...
What would make a man...
Pussy. It's always pussy.
I think the Jedi should have killed Padme, or accidentally killed Padme, or Obi-Wan killed Padme, or somebody straight up killed her, instead of dying in childbirth.
Yeah, that was gay.
That was stupid. It was a robot.
I agree.
You know, I mean...
Even to this day, we don't really understand, did he kill her by force choking her? So I've heard some people theorize that...
She was alive.
Killed her with the
there was that. There was one where she just lost the will to live because of what Anakin turned into the dark side.
I think that's George's stance.
Yeah, that's George's stance.
She lost the will to live.
But he didn't kill her by choking her because she was alive, because she said she named the kids.
Yeah.
She named them. There's that guy crawling to the house, knocking on the door with one arm. From Looper. I hate you.
So did you ever find Sifo Dyas' master?
I can't find a legitimate answer.
Oh, so there maybe is no answer who his master was. It's up for interpretation, maybe? I thought I heard a while ago that Yoda was his master. But I could be wrong.
We'll go to the Star Wars databank. Maybe we'll find something there.
Pick him up. Help him out. Help him out a little bit, Obi-Wan. Don't just leave him laying there.
Did you cry at this part?
A little bit. I was like...
I got moist.
I was like, oh, damn, this is how it happened?
When he says, I hate you, I was like, oh, dude.
That's deep, dude. For anybody to yell at while your ass is on fire.
Right.
And Obi-Wan just standing there like, eh.
It was probably like, that was his pivotal, that was his, Anakin's, probably his best moment as Anakin.
Yeah, screaming, I hate you.
That was maybe the only moment I really believed it.
Yeah, because he was so, like, wishy-washy, like, this whole episode. Episode 3, he was all like, do I want to be a man guy? Do I want to be a Jedi? Do I want this? Do I want that? Make up your mind, dude. And then as soon as you see your wife, you force choke her. The one that you're trying to save, you choke her out. Jealousy, because Obi-Wan came out with his zipper undone.
I think it has a lot to do with...
I think it had a lot to do with Obi-Wan.
I think it has a lot to do with Lucas's own personal experience.
This all happened to Lucas.
That bitch sucked his dick. I know you did. I'm gonna write it in the Star Wars. And that bitch will know every time she watches. Oh shit, he's talking about me. I'm Padme. I ruined the entire universe. Why?
Jar Jar comes out. It's like, whoa.
Ooh, you missed a bed.
Jeez, dude. I mean, I don't know. I would choose the dark side. I really would. I mean, I wouldn't choose it. Yeah, Jedis are cool and shit, you know. I don't know, I'll just be a smuggler. Fuck it. I'll just be a smuggler. I'm playing both sides.
See, that fits. I can see you.
Yeah,
you're a pirate.
Yeah, I'll be a smuggler. Whatever.
What you got, Steve? What you got?
What you got, Steve?
Steve would be like Jabba the Hutt.
Alright. Like, see if I got $4 when he got
I want Tom's head in carbonite.
I told you, Steve, I'll have your money when I have it.
Did you bring me the diapers? Bro, you sick fuck. Why would I bring you diapers?
I'm the little rat guy in Jabba's palace. He's so crazy!
No, dude, you'd be more of a Jedi.
I like Qui-Gon, but dude, from the moment I was 5 years old in the theater and saw Luke Skywalker walk in with a black robe, I'm like, that's a badass.
Nah, I mean, you got blonde hair, blue eyes, Barbie doll, Ken doll.
My youngest son loves Luke Skywalker.
Luke Skywalker's cool. Kids love him.
Yeah.
He's like the Mickey Mouse of Star Wars. Everybody loves Luke.
Except you.
I fucking hate Luke.
That son of a bitch can die, bro.
I don't care.
Alright, so...
I don't care. You know what I mean, right?
Homework is find out who Sifo Dyas' master was.
They're saying that he was mentioned in episode 2.
Sifo Dyas?
Sifo Dyas was mentioned.
Yeah, he was. On,
talking about Camino.
Right. The Caminos,
because he's the one who
Caminos
commissioned
are
the
some
army.
Gangster bastards.
Mm-hmm.
Because they put Order, think about it, dude. They put Order 66 in there. They knew what it was.
They're like, oh,
they dealt with the Jedi.
We don't need these chips, but fuck it. Put them in there.
They were the programmers, right,
yep,
of that chip. So they knew what Order 66 was, and they were like dealing with the Jedi, like, yeah, come on in.
Yep, they
You're
knew.
on borrowed time, pal.
They knew what they were doing.
The idea of the Holy Grail, we should do a podcast about that.
The Holy Grail is awesome.
The
Holy Grail signifies
the bloodline of the Skywalkers is actually the chosen one, the Holy Grail. You know, they talk about like one theory of the actual Holy Grail is Jesus' bloodline.
Yeah, Jesus had a baby with Mary Magdalene.
Right.
And that baby went on and... Yeah.
So I could talk about that for a while.
Dude, I love that shit, dude.
Yeah.
Mary Magdalene, they say that she... In the Bible, all it says is that she was a woman of the night.
Alright, so...
It never said that she was a prostitute or anything like that.
Having a little biblical knowledge, I can tell you my own personal thought about this.
Dude, I don't want to die on my way home.
No,
I've got a lot of opinions,
I do believe...
My dad hears this podcast, he'd be like, fuck you!
I raised you better than this.
But, you know, it's just beliefs. You know, the Bible is the Bible. You're always going to believe the Bible. It's open for interpretation, but I'll always believe the Bible. Whatever the Bible says, that's what it is. But you also got this alternate thing that you can be like, well, what if Jesus and Mary Magdalene had, like Da Vinci Code, Da Vinci Code.
I don't know that it's that far-fetched. I think it's, and I'm not a Catholic. Maybe if I was Catholic, I would think this is crazy talk. But there's a lot of people that say that it was the Catholic Church that put the idea in there that
the Catholic Church has done a lot. That's changed shit. Like for example, suicide. No one said suicide was a sin until the church.
Oh, that you won't get. You'll damn yourself.
You'll go to hell if you kill yourself.
It doesn't say that in the Bible anymore.
No, it doesn't say nothing
maybe
about
hints at it. Maybe.
Yeah.
But it doesn't say that. And that I believe that is the Catholic Church. But the thing about Mary Magdalene, back at the time that the Catholic Church ruled things, I mean, they don't really so much anymore. If they do, they're doing it covertly. Mm-hmm. But they didn't want women having any sort of power. So they eliminated the idea that Jesus had any sort of love connection. Mm-hmm. And I do think the Bible keeps this. There's one really weird part in the New Testament. Quite often, Jesus says, "The disciple whom I love."
I think she was like the 13th disciple.
So he names like when he said, tell Peter to come here, tell James, and he names all the disciples. And then there's this one mysterious disciple who he constantly refers to as the disciple who I love. Now, if Jesus was in love with someone, that would be the one that the Catholics would go, we don't want anyone to know who that was.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to remove her name. And that's all they took out of the Bible was just her name, but left the part like, oh, you still know he's talking about a disciple. You just don't know which one.
What is that one movie that has the Mona Lisa playing as Mary Magdalene? And they took her picture out of the Last Supper. She was sitting next to on his right side.
Wasn't it the Da Vinci
Was
Code?
it Da Vinci Code?
Yeah, I think it was.
They took the Mary Magdalene out, and they photoshopped it obviously, but it was like a perfect fit next to him and shit. But
yeah, so let's explore the idea of the Skywalker bloodline being the Holy Grail. I'm gonna ponder that one.
Well, what is the Holy Grail? The bloodline?
The bloodline.
Or is there an object of the Holy Grail? Like there is. I mean.
No, I'm hinting at like the bloodline.
The bloodline?
The bloodline is what brings balance. So once, you know how you could say even The Force Awakens, because we know, well, we don't know. We do know Ben is a Skywalker. So every one of the Star Wars movies has the Skywalker bloodline. It revolves around it. Right? So you remove that family from the equation, it's a whole different equation.
Yeah, the galaxy is completely changed.
Right, not to say that Palpatine wouldn't still exist or rise to power.
Oh, it all exists, though. It'll just be...
But maybe the bloodline is the only way that the galaxy gets redeemed.
Mm-hmm. I think when they said he was the chosen one, it was his bloodline. I don't think it was. It couldn't have been Anakin.
Well, see, the Mortis trilogy says it is. But I've always had issues with, I don't know if it's Anakin.
How would it have been Anakin? What is he the chosen one to do?
Well, he did, if you think about all the Jedi he killed.
Maybe the Jedis are the bad guys. Maybe they're the ones.
There's a lot of people that look at it.
But if we were to go with the concept that Anakin is the chosen one, then wouldn't we say that descendants of Anakin, they would all be chosen ones? If they're all from the same bloodline, if he was created from the Force...
If it is the bloodline.
If he is the chosen one, then wouldn't Luke and Leia, they would be chosen ones. Ben and
Leia,
so on and so on and so on.
And in a way, Leia has a very important part in the whole story. I mean, she's the leader of the rebellion and becomes the general of the resistance.
Jyn Erso. Yeah, Jyn Erso. I ain't gonna say nothing, but go ahead.
Silence. Cricket.
Shut up. Alright, I'll drop it. No more.
Until we're in the theater.
So we're in the theaters, I stand up on my seat and like,
yes! I told you! I'm literally pulling Robin back.
Yeah, eat it. But
I was like, suck it!
I told you
He's gonna bring in a dark robe and he's just gonna be good.
Yeah.
I rip the mask off. I told you!
Kill him now.
Alright, we can stop, I think. We got over an hour, right?
Should be about an hour.